What's up, Vandals? This is Johnny Alpha from Graphic Vandalism, back with a new video. With this video, I'm going to try to do something new and a little different and take a look at hero comics. Underrated hero comics, to be exact. These books are odd, daring, and in my opinion, deserve way more credit. I had meant for this video to be a 10 comic list, but I had a devil of a time finding stuff for a few of the books, so it's now a top 5 countdown. So let's just get into it, alright? At number 5, I have Beware the Creeper, written by Justin Hall with art by Cliff Chang and published by Vertigo Comics. Now, this rather unknown comic is a bold and very artistic reimagining of one of DC's most obscure characters, and is a very abstract noir revenge thriller set in the 1920s Paris, France, during the height of the post-World War I surrealist revolution. Needless to say, this book goes to some very dark places, and I just love its very unapologetic way it shows that revenge can get taken way too far, and that anger can totally backfire. Now, this was the comic where I first saw Cliff Chang's art, and I have been a huge fan ever since, but I will always love his work on this very odd, abstract hero morality tale best. Next up at number 4, we have The Victories by Michael Avon Oeming, published by Dark Horse Comics. But I'm going to focus on the first arc, Touched, as it's, in my opinion, the very best of the series. Now, don't let Oeming's very cartoonish and lovely art fool you. This comic is very dark and brutal. The themes and tones in this book are pitch black and pretty disturbing. The main hero in this book is Faustus, and he is a very brutal vigilante with a troubled past and a very sad and dark secret. When a rival vigilante who is closer to actually being a villain named the Jackal learns Faustus' secret, he makes it into a sick game and tries to force Faustus into murderous revenge. And this book is just marvelous, as it takes you to the darkest depths and then brings you back up with true heroism. At number 3, let's take a look at The Chimera Brigade, written by Serge Lehmann and Fabrice Collin with art by Guess, published in the United States by Titan Books. The Chimera Brigade is a very wonderful European comic that really makes me wish there were more Euro hero comics, as this book is just so smart and it uses history and historical characters with excellence. And this comic takes place in Europe, in between the two world wars, and it just injects us into this world of wonder and awe as nations build up superhuman weapons and the skies start to look dark. But one man might hold inside of himself the key to stem the tide and bring a little bit of hope back to the world. And this book is also just jam-packed with that surreal style that makes me go wild. This is a comic that really needs to be read. Okay then, at number 2 we have The End League, written by Rick Remender with art by Matt Broom and Eric Kante, published by Dark Horse Comics. In my personal opinion, The End League is by far the best hero book Rick Remender has ever wrote. As with this comic, Rick takes a handful of analog Big Two characters and creates an event book that succeeds in every way every Big Two event book fails. And in this book, we are just thrust into this desolate world with this last band of heroes that have no choice but to keep on fighting, and it's very captivating and engaging how tortured and broken our heroes are, and the fact that giving up is not an option to them whatsoever. Now, Rick Remender is one of my favorite writers in comics at the moment, and I consider this book to be one of his very best works. Okay, then, last but not least, here we are at my number 1 pick, Madman, by Mike Allred. And this book has been published by pretty much every independent imprint, so just throw a dart and pick your favorite one and just say, like, oh, that's who published this book. And with Madman, I'm switching the gears a bit here. Unlike the rest of the books on this list, Madman is a very fun and funny comic full of Silver Age style pop art and wacky antics. And Madman's just this really fun, esoteric superhero take on the idea of Frankenstein's monster. And there are a few innocent horror elements at play, but for the most part, it's just a very wild and fun roller coaster ride of classic comic book action and adventure. Full of quirky mad scientists, overreactionary townfolk, and the lengths that a reincarnated man turned hero will go through for love. And ever since I first read it, Madman has just been one of the most influential comics I've ever read, and it's just made such a lasting impression on me. I am so happy that Mike Allred's now a star in the comic world, but I cannot put into words just how much I love his comic, Madman. And there you go, Vandals. There are 5 completely awesome, underrated independent superhero comics. And like I said, there are 5 more books that I really wanted to put on this list, but I couldn't find materials to add them. So there might be a follow up to this. And if you would like to see a book of yours that you think is great, just go ahead and mention it in the comments and I'll check it out and maybe I'll put it in a video. So, but until then, don't stop reading. This is Johnny Alpha from Graphic Vandalism. Stay classy, y'all.